everyone.
Hello.
We're going to discuss The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by a lady. She has 3 names.
Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Good job.
Thank you.
You wrote it down.
I did.
She wrote things down.
I wrote things down. This is going to be a spoilery discussion of the book, so if you haven't read this, please go watch our review. We will have it linked below.
Yep. I'm Jessica.
I'm Christeena.
And you're watching
Game of Tomes. That wind, yo! I got a little scared.
Game of Tomes.
Game of Tomes. Okay, here's my question for you.
Okay.
Do you think Evelyn Hugo is a good person?
I don't think any of us are all good and all bad. She thinks she's a bad person.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not a good person. And I'm telling you, I want you to let everyone know.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is like, she knows she did wrong.
Maybe some guilt.
Maybe it's atonement a little bit.
Yeah.
For the things that she feels like she did.
Yeah.
But I do not think I don't think she's a bad person. I think she's done some bad things and made mistakes. So have I.
Yeah. I don't really care for her as a character. To me, she's a dislikable character.
Really?
Yeah. Especially in the beginning, where she's using everyone to get to Hollywood and to make her way up. She was very dislikable.
When, with her first husband, especially.
I thought that was awful, yeah.
But she had to get out of there, and she was being abused.
But at the same time, I don't want to sit here and say that she's a bad person.
Also, she was like 14 when she did that.
She took ambition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And she took that step forward to go and do this. So I feel like me saying that she's a bad person for doing this is almost kind of like people who say bossy women are bitches. Even though, like, they're ambitious and they're doing their thing and taking control, people look in that in a negative way, and I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Like, I think it's dislikable what she did, but I also have to commend her for being so young and having ambition and taking control of her own life and doing what she wanted and needed to do to get where she wanted.
And to get out of the bad situation she was in.
Yes. So I feel torn about that.
I liked her. And I think she just has a lot of nuance and she's very complex.
Yeah, she is.
And that's why I like her. I realize that she's done bad things and made the wrong choices sometimes. But I can respect that she was doing it for a purpose and she never meant to really hurt the ones that she loved.
Yeah. She becomes a lot more... Celia. Yeah, she becomes a lot more likable later. So I feel torn.
She learns from...
Yeah. Yeah.
Her mistakes.
I really feel torn on... I don't like her, but I like her.
Yeah, I understand.
So, and that's one thing that I really like about the writing style was that I want to hate her. Don't get me wrong, I want to hate her. But I can't. I also, like, feel bad for her. And I also admire her for, like, doing so much. And, like I said, having that ambition and taking control of her own life. But it's hard. But like you said, nobody is all good. Nobody's all bad. And people make mistakes. So... I don't know. And the other characters I really enjoyed as well.
I really liked...
This was a very character-driven book.
I think so.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite husband?
Well, Harry.
Yeah.
Hands down, Harry.
Yeah.
Hands down.
For sure.
Yeah.
Aw, Harry. That was really sad.
I didn't expect that. On Goodreads, the summary talks about there's a twist and their lives intersect, and I wasn't really surprised by how their lives connected, and I feel like...
You mean her and Harry's?
No,
Celia?
Celia and Margot's, is that her name? The news reporter lady that was writing the biography. Oh, it was what her dad always wanted to call her.
Monique.
Whew. Thank you.
Okay, you weren't surprised that was Monique's dad that died with Harry?
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. To me, I felt like Goodreads was saying, there's a twist, and but to me, like, that wasn't what this book was about at all. I got way into the characters and their storylines and everything, so when that came up, I was kind of like, Okay.
Uh,
It was interesting,
it blew my
definitely.
mind. I was expecting Evelyn to say that she was going to end her own life by the end of the book.
I did not.
Ah.
I did not.
I was waiting for that to come since the beginning when she was talking about her piece on assisted suicide.
Yeah.
I was like, that's what Evelyn's going to do.
I didn't expect that.
That's the thing that I was waiting on.
Yeah.
So when they ended up having that connection, that blew my mind because I wasn't expecting that to be part of the end, like there to be another thing.
Yeah. That was also really sad. And I think Monique felt so real in that moment of like hating Evelyn, but at the same time she's giving her this big, huge break in her career. So it's like...
I felt conflicted about Monique's emotions a little bit. Because she basically said, you know what you did by putting that man's dead body in the driver's seat to protect your friend, and then taking your friend to the hospital and protecting his reputation, that's understandable, Monique said. Yeah. She's like, anybody would have done that for their friend.
Yeah.
And then when she found out that that person was her dad,
she was
unforgiving.
Yeah. Yeah. Because she kept saying, like, how could people think you're a bad person? And then she, like, 180'd.
And, yeah.
But I feel like I understood Evelyn's actions, and I was like, yeah, I get it. But then when it turned out to be her dad, I feel like that would be a normal reaction, personally, because, like, you know how much, you just learned about how much she loves Harry and cares about Harry, and they have a daughter together, and so she's trying to protect him and the daughter in the best way that she can, and then when you find out it's the dad, I think if it was me, I would have the same reaction. I would be, well, wait a second, that's unforgivable. But I feel like that's a personal conflict of, like, you know that you're kind of being a hypocrite, but you can't help it because it's, like, your mind and your heart, and...
Right.
That would be a hard situation.
I totally get what you're saying. And I agree. I think I personally would have a hard time directing my anger at her, more like directing my anger at the situation and what happened, because I just don't think that it's in any way Evelyn's fault that her dad died.
No, absolutely not. He was dead either way.
Right.
It was just his reputation that, you know.
Right. She didn't know the whole truth about how he died. But I also kind of just I don't blame her for that.
I think it comes back to maybe Monique felt like when we talked about the bluest eye and the boy got mad at the girl after the white men shined the flashlight on them. Mm-hmm. I think it comes back to you can't change the situation, you can't control the situation, and she's the only thing physically there that you can direct your anger at. So I feel like that's the one thing she could kind of control, so...
I totally get what you're saying there. You're touching my sunburn.
Sorry. It's so red. I liked how this was laid out a lot, going through her past, and I really, really liked the plot. I thought it was well done.
Me too. Oh, we listened to this on audiobook.
Yeah.
It had 3 different female narrators.
Yeah, which was crazy.
I have never read a book with multiple... like an all-female, multiple narrator cast.
Mm-hmm. There was Monique, there was Evelyn, and then there was
the flashbacks, or no, the newspaper
articles. Yeah, which I really, really liked getting newspaper articles in there as well, because it kind of, it was really cool to hear Evelyn's inside story, but then see what the news was reporting to the public.
It makes me never ever want to read tabloids.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought too. Yeah. I was like, yeah, tabloids are pieces of crap.
I've always felt that way, like, becoming an adult, really.
Yeah.
Since becoming an adult. But now especially. And also we have, like, social media.
Yeah.
And even, I think now more than ever it's become obvious that what's out there is
not what's actually happening.
It's like a projection of what you want everyone to see of you. And so I think tabloids are an extension of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think... I definitely think they hurt more than they help in any situation, honestly.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I like that. I love the irony of the title of the book being The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, but it's about her love for this one woman.
Yeah, I really, really liked that.
I loved it so much.
Because honestly, when you told me about it and I read the summary on Goodreads, I was like, I don't want to listen to some Hollywood person talk about their 7 husbands and blah, blah, blah. And the first 3 hours, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't care. Because she was just going on about how she used people to get to Hollywood. And I was like, you're such a bitch. Like, I don't care.
I loved it from the beginning. I was like, I read it and I was like, that sounds like fun.
I told Jessica, I'll give it to halfway through the audio, and if I don't like it, I'm going to DNF it. And the next day, things started developing more, and you learned about Celia and stuff, and I was like, okay, this isn't bad. And I finished it, like, in 3 days, because I was like, I got so invested.
You did good.
I really, really did.
Yeah. I liked it from beginning to end. And one thing I want to say is, like, I have read Ava Gardner's My Story, her autobiography.
Yeah.
That came out after her death, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a lot of similarities between Ava Gardner and there was no, bisexual romance.
Right.
In Ava's story, but she's a real life Evelyn Hugo,
yeah.
basically, who was discovered because she was so beautiful and married several times. She married Frank Sinatra, Mickey Rooney, and others. So if you enjoyed this book, I think definitely pick up Ava Gardner's
That's
My Story.
interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no Celia. But...
Right.
Yeah.
World building, I think, was probably one of the lowest categories for me, just because it definitely felt Hollywood, but the book wasn't about that, so I don't feel like... I struggle with world building in books that aren't fantasy, because I feel like world building is not really that yeah.
Okay.
Especially in real life situations.
Yeah.
But the thing that helped a lot with the world building for me was her talking about the clothing. Because I could picture it in the 50s with she wore a tight sleeveless sweater, turtleneck, and navy capris. I could picture that, what I mean? And it felt very 1950s when she described it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the thing that helped me the most with the world building.
I agree, actually. But I disagree with you on the grounds that it was the lowest point. I think it was, I felt like I was there.
Yeah.
In that world.
Yeah.
And I just really like that whole aesthetic. And so, yeah, it wasn't a low point for me at all, I think.
I don't mean I didn't rate it low or anything. I just mean it was in the background for me.
Gotcha.
As opposed to the other categories of this book.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the clothing and stuff really just took me there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So in case you guys haven't seen it, we will link it below. We have a short little video describing our new rating system if you would be interested in checking that out, so you can understand what we're doing a little bit.
Right.
But I feel like, you can get it.
Yeah, I'm doing it by 5 different categories: character,
Yeah.
plot, world building, writing style, and impact.
Yeah.
So let's talk about impact. The impact that this book had on us, and it's a category where we talk about diversity and in regards to race and sexual orientation, the like.
Impact, I gave 5 stars. I definitely think it's, because number one, the setting that it's in, when she falls in love with a woman, when it's big no-no, and not just that, but you've got bi, you have lesbian, you have gay, you have all of that in there, and especially in a setting where it is strictly not talked about and not done, especially in Hollywood.
Right, and in regards to race as well.
Yeah.
She was Cuban, which is something we haven't talked about. And she hid it.
She changed herself completely to be a movie star.
Right.
And when I think her cleaning lady or maid found out, and she was like, "You don't look Cuban," because she had bleached blonde hair and et cetera,
removed any traces of her heritage from her house.
Yes, and I appreciate that she actually reflected on that in the book. Mm-hmm. How she was like, "Oh no, I've pushed myself away," and then when they moved to Spain, she starts speaking Spanish because she has to, and then I think that really helped her kind of come into her own again.
Right. I think, and she says that when she was reflecting, she was like, I was distancing myself from that culture because of my father and how horrible he was to me. Yeah. But it also distances me from my mother. And, yep.
I thought the impact was great, and I appreciate that. Not only did she talk about how forbidden it was to love another woman or a man in that time period, they also talked about the gay rights movement as well, and how they were wanting to go down and march with them, and they said, we can't, because if we do that, the focus will be on us and it will take away the impact of what they're doing. All we can do is donate money. And I thought that was actually very, very true. And so I like that. They touched on it a little bit, but I appreciate that they did that.
Me too. Another theme of this book was the idea of the soulmate. I don't think there is one person out there for any one other person.
I don't think there is either. I think there could be many.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think this explored that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. Because, like, I really appreciate the difference of her love for Harry and her love for Celia were very different, but also the same.
And I think she got out different things from them.
Yeah, yeah. I also, I think it challenged the idea of family a little bit, especially in that time period. Yeah. Especially when it was Harry and Celia and Evelyn and John.
I just wanted them to live all in the same house.
I did too. And especially when they decided, we want to have a baby.
Yeah.
And we love each other so much, but not in the sexual way, but we really want to have a baby together. And so they took that step, and I think that kind of makes you realize, I don't know, it's when you think of family and having a baby, you think of obviously a husband and wife who are devoted to each other and are sexually attracted to each other. And this definitely challenged that a little bit, and I thought it was great. Mm-hmm. You have a gay man and a bisexual woman who are with their partners, but they want to have a baby, and so they do it together. And I thought that devotion and that love, I thought, said a lot about, their love for everyone and each other. Because if you love someone enough to say, yeah, you want a baby, I don't, that's okay, I want you to have a baby, who better to have it with than one of your soulmates, Yes. I thought that was a huge step.
Me too.
Yeah.
I really love this book, and I'm really glad that you picked it up when I asked you to.
I am too. I'm telling you, that first day I was just like, what is this? I even told my husband, I said, it's about some Hollywood movie star and her 7 husbands. I don't care. I cared so much. I was so close to crying multiple times.
Yeah. I loved it. I loved it 5 stars. I loved it 5 stars.
I give it 4.5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we wrap it up here, or is there... I'm sure we could keep talking about this forever.
I'm sure we could too, but I feel like if we keep talking about it, it's mostly going to be...
little things that happened.
Yeah.
Let's end it here then.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about anything else that happened within the book, we would be happy to talk about it in the comments below. Yeah. So, spoilers abound in the comments.
Watch out with your eyes.
Thank you so much for watching. When you play the Game of Tones,
you read or you die.
Come be our friends. Social media links in the description below.
And we hope you're reading a great book.
Bye.
Bye.
Lost, what felt like it all in a game. Every man I've measured out to hurt me before I could ever feel